Oh, hello there. My name is Mark Stevens. May I welcome you to the Playhouse. You know, for me, there's always been a curious fascination about the days of our early West. The violent customs of an era when the strong wrote their own laws, with a Colt 45 or a gallows rope. When the cattleman was king, and a rustler or a card sharp stood a good chance of ending up on Boot Hill, a graveyard. Yet many men ran that risk. Men like Steve Dexter, the role I enact in this performance of the Playhouse. As a young man, Steve had left the town of Willow Rock without a dime in his pockets. Now, after 8 long years, he was coming home. Home to the raw, untamed cattle country of Steve Dexter's youth. A country where only the strong could survive. Yes, Steve was home at last in Willow Rock. Home to a well-remembered dream. And something he wanted to forget. Got a room?
I reckon, maybe.
What's the best you got?
$5 a day, in advance, and it ain't worth it.
Good, I'll take it.
Must be a tender for it. Steve Dexter!
How are you, Pop?
Steve, you idiot. You trying to get yourself killed?
Pop's got him a cash customer. 2 cards, Alice. Looks like mucho cash. Wrong color.
Next time, Andy. Deneen?
I'll play these.
Dealer takes 1. Your bet, Andy.
Come on, bet I'm gonna throw him in.
Yeah, what's the winner, Eston? Hey, isn't that Steve Dexter? Dexter.
Here comes Mark Warren's ramrod. Oh, I know there was going to be trouble. Something you wanted, Deneen?
What are you doing back in town?
Renting a room. Any objections?
Yeah, plenty. Give him back his money. He's leaving town just like 8 years ago. Sudden.
Who says so? You or Mark Warren?
I'm saying it for him. He told you once to get out and stay out.
It's a free country.
Not for you, it ain't.
Don't. At this range, a Derringer would blow you wide open.
Nobody but a tin horn carries a sleeve gun. Tin horn with a yellow streak.
You're still dealing. He bluffs easy.
Yeah, I take it you ain't got no sleeve gun.
Don't approve of him, Pop.
Well, me neither. Well, come on, I'll take you to your room.
I got it.
What's that all about?
That's right. Steve was before your time. He used to be sweet on Mark Warren's daughter.
Mr. Warren run him out of town, huh?
Nobody never runs Steve nowhere unless he wanted to go. No, he left on his own. Said he was going to pick up a pile and come back here and marry Laura. Told Mark that right to his face.
Well, by the looks of his clothes, he made his pile all right. I wonder how.
Didn't do it betting on cards like these.
Tres.
Kind of feel sorry for him about Laura, though. He waited too long. Bet?
Dos.
You mind if I ask you a question, Steve?
Shoot.
Why did you risk your neck coming back to Willow Rock?
Don't you know?
Laura?
Mm-hmm.
8 years is a long time, Steve.
Yeah, I know, Pop. A long, lonesome time.
Well, it was just as lonesome for her as it was for you. Lonesomer, maybe. She was doing the waiting.
You got something on your mind, Pop?
Well, I reckon I ain't doing it very good. But, well, you can't blame Laura, you being gone so long.
Blame her for what?
You remember Johnny Scoville? Oh, no, he was just a button when you left. Well, he growed up to be a right nice young fella for a homesteader. Maybe you hadn't ought to unpack, Steve.
Make your point, Pop.
Laura and him are getting married.
I am going to marry him. And if you interfere the way
Mark,
you did
can
with
I see you a minute?
Why, I didn't hear you knock. Did you, Laura?
Sorry, Mark, but I thought you wanted
My
to...
daughter and I were talking to Neen privately. I'll send for you when we're through. No, Laura, you cannot marry Johnny Scoville. I will not allow it.
You can't stop it.
Look out this window. Any window of the house. Thousands of acres, thousands of head of cattle. All ours. An empire I created.
Emperor Mark Warren.
And what happens if men like Johnny Scoville get a foothold? They homestead the land that's always been open range. They put a fence around it. Our herds go hungry for the grass, thirsty for the water holes. That's why we drive these farmers off before they can put up their first fence post. We fight them or they destroy us. And you'll want to marry one of them.
The country's big enough for all of us, Father. Farmers and cattlemen. Farmers grow wheat. Wheat makes bread, and bread is just as important as beef, and I'm going to marry Johnny Scoville.
You'll get over him just as you got over Steve Dexter after I drove him away.
You did not drive him away. He left because he wanted to make something of himself. And if I'd been really in love with him, I'd have gone with him.
You wouldn't have dared.
At 17, maybe not, but I'm not afraid of you now, Father. I know what you really are.
And what am I?
Mark Warren.
A while ago, you said Emperor Mark Warren.
And you loved it.
So will you someday. When all this is yours, when you're Empress Laura.
I'd rather be Mrs. Johnny Scoville.
Warrens don't marry trash. Trash can be disposed of.
Is that the way you want it? Then watch yourself. Because if anything happens to Johnny, I'll know who did it. Remember, Father, I've got Warren blood in me, too.
Deneen. You said you had something to tell me. What was it?
Yeah, guess who's back in town? Steve Dexter.
Well, this is a surprise. What does he want?
I don't know, I guess he just wanted to show you who's boss. He even run me off with a sleeve gun just so he'd know he's on the prod.
That's too bad. Now we'll have to take care of him as well as Johnny Scoville. Somewheres?
Got a horse waiting outside.
Well, if I was you, I'd leave it there.
What's the matter, Pop? You think I've forgotten how to straddle one?
It ain't that. The Warren Ranch ain't no place for you right now. Well, I just figured. Don't you understand? There ain't no use in talking to Laura. She's
I
got...
want to hear it from her.
Wait a minute. Maybe she won't have a chance if her pappy puts a bullet through your gizzard, him or Deneen. Wait. You better take old Betsy. She's awful light on the trigger.
Thanks, Pop.
Steve. What are you doing out here?
That all you can say after 8 years, Laura? Can't you even say you're glad to see me?
Of course I'm glad to see you, but you shouldn't be here.
You look good, Laura. Haven't changed a bit. Or have you?
I don't know quite what you mean.
You and Scoville, is it true?
Yes, Steve, it's true. Steve,
Funny, I kind of pictured things being a little different. When did it happen?
A long time ago, Steve. A very long time ago.
How's Mark taking it?
He's still Mark. That's why you shouldn't be here.
Riding Scoville like he rode me, huh?
Worse. So much worse, it scares me.
What's the matter? Can't you reason with him?
Reason with him? I even threatened him.
I must have set him back some.
It did, but it won't stop him. I know him too well. He'll get rid of Johnny so no one will know he even had a hand in it. Unless he should find himself up against somebody bigger, and there's nobody bigger. And not that Johnny isn't a fighter.
He must be. Homesteading in cattle country.
That's just it. He's a nester, and there's nobody to even side with him. And my father likes nothing better than picking on a man who has no friends. Johnny needs a friend, Steve.
I'll bet he does.
Steve. Will you help me? Johnny and I want to get married. I love him.
How do you know?
Steve, I'm sorry you made me do that.
Sure you won't sit in, Steve?
I never play cards with friends, Pop.
Why? Unlucky?
Never with cards.
Up to you, Johnny.
Call.
3 kings.
All yours, Dallas.
65 cents. If I could do this every day, I wouldn't have to work for a living.
Well, I've had enough.
Come on, Steve, you can't lose more than $1 or 2.
Except on Saturdays, and Mark Warren sits in. This Saturday or Friday? Friday, why? Mr. Warren's a day early.
Oh, howdy, Mr. Warren. Oh, I wasn't expecting you.
Now, look here, Mr. Warren. I'm not a dog you herd around with a stick.
Of course not. I like dogs.
What he don't like is Nestor's wanting to marry his daughter for her money.
Scoville, for the last time, stay away from Laura.
And if I don't?
There'll be one less sodbuster around here.
It will bust your sod, 6 feet of it, and plant you in it. You see him start to draw first.
Wrong doesn't mean I drew first. Put it away. Put it away. And leave it there.
Look out, Steve!
Losing your grip on things, Mr. Warren?
No, not the big things.
I wouldn't call this big. Prodding a man to draw so you can kill him, I'd call that pretty small.
Horning in on my personal affairs, I'd call that pretty dangerous.
I'll keep it in mind. Hold it.
Mr. Warren, you and Deneen want to join us in a game? Cards is awful soothing on the nerves.
Not the kind I get, Pop.
Always quit while you're ahead.
And let them think they scared me off. I have a good mind to go out.
Wait till you're holding a better hand.
All right.
Bet 2.
And not with this rubbish.
Mine ain't worth it neither.
No use staying with nothing to stay for, Steve.
All you win's the exercise, Andy.
And a starved-to-death kitty. You know, this is the first good hand I have today, and nobody bets. Fine bunch of tin-horn sports.
Speaking of tin horns, ever notice how some fellas stand around and watches a game, don't ever buy no chips?
Everybody, Andy.
Must be a case of flashy clothes and empty pockets.
Or perhaps a poker game wouldn't interest a real gentleman.
Mr. Warren, your bet.
Make it a quarter. If it'd bring any new blood into the game, I'd make it $100.
I guess there ain't no use in asking you to sit in, Steve? Steve has got a rule. He don't play no cards with his friends.
That's right, Pop. Not with friends. We're $1,000, Pop. Should we make it table stakes? As Mr. Warren said, the game needs new blood.
I'm not going to take it anymore.
But Steve seemed to...
Just because he backed me up today, that's no sign he'll do it again. Laura, I'm fed up. Let's get out of here.
It's no good to run away, Johnny.
I'm not running away. Laura, how would you feel if your father killed me?
Oh, you know that without asking.
And if I killed your father?
What?
There. You see? Just thinking about it, and you don't want to look at me. We'd never be the same to each other, Laura. We couldn't be. Do you want to risk that?
I don't want anything to ever change us.
Oh, Laura, let's get out of here before it's too late.
Maybe we should, Johnny, but let's stay just a little longer. This thing has got to be settled for once and for all.
Look, Laura.
$500.
Here's your 500 and... raise it 5.
I'm out. 500 more.
Call. Queen high flush.
Aces. Full.
Best spot tonight. Most 3,000 in it. Damn near.
You notice how he won it? Stayed on a dead man's hand, aces and eights, and then drawed another ace.
I'm sure nobody here wishes me bad luck, but it's all the same to you. I'd like to finish the game somewhere in private. That is, unless you aim to quit before I can get even.
Did you put it that way? How about my room?
Suit me perfectly. Come on, Deneen.
Cash me in, Pop. There's your money, Mr. Warren. I wasn't planning on keeping it.
A tin horn always says that when he's caught cheating. I counted the deck on the way upstairs. It's one card short. Get his gun, Deneen.
You got your money?
And you got the missing card. You held it out to use anytime you might need it. Do we have to search you? It's a very clever trick.
One of the easiest I do.
What are you trying to prove?
Nothing. You've had it coming for a long time. The chance was too good to pass up.
Come here, there's something I want to show you. You were born in this town, Dexter. You've seen a lot of men hanged over there.
Too many.
It's our way of dealing with your kind. The minute I tell the men downstairs that you hold an ace, that rope will be around your throat.
I've been waiting a long time for this hanging. Come on, Tin Horn.
Ah, I'm in no hurry, Deneen. I might even let him go. I wonder what'd be best for this town. A live card cheat or a dead nester?
I don't savvy what you're driving at, Mark.
You do, don't you, Dexter?
You mean Scoville?
I want him removed. And you're going to do it.
I am. How?
There's a poker game downstairs tomorrow afternoon. I want Scoville in that game. I want him framed for cheating. Afterwards, when he's exposed, Laura won't be able to blame me.
And if I don't?
And you'll get strung up. Right now.
Scoville's neck or mine, huh?
Make a choice.
I take it you'll be sitting in on the game.
Yeah.
Supposing I decide to frame you instead of Scoville.
Who'd believe anyone as rich as Mark could be playing crooked poker?
Yeah, I suppose you're right. Well, Mr. Warren, it looks like you're holding all the aces this time. Anything happens to me, you know what to do.
Here, take this.
What did it...
Steve, what are you trying to do? Johnny doesn't belong in that game. The stakes are too high.
I'm staking him.
Well, why should you? And why should you talk him into playing in the first place, especially against my father and Denise?
A lot of things can be settled over a poker
But
table.
Johnny's not good at gambling.
He's a big winner with you, isn't he?
Yes, Steve, he is, no matter what anybody does.
I can't beat a hand like that.
All yours, Johnny. You're lucky you're in a barrel full of horseshoes.
Last time I seen that kind of luck, turned out the fellow had a rabbit's foot in one pocket and 5 extra aces in the other.
Stack him on your own time, Scoville. Sure deal.
Oh, sure.
Andy. Andy.
I'll be right back, Steve. Something you wanted, Laura?
Pop, is Johnny all right?
I reckon so, if being 10,000 ahead is all right.
You mean he's winning?
Most too frequent. Appears to me like he just can't lose.
I got you beat. Straight flush and hearts.
Royal flush.
The holdup. Well, you cheap tin-horn crook.
Wait a minute. He didn't deal, Scoville did.
Yeah, but who cut? Steve. Who had the holdout? Steve. What are you trying to do, get Johnny strung up? Break in your pot, Johnny. You had the best honest hand.
Didn't work, did it, Mr. Warren?
All right. Get a rope!
Johnny, do something. Stop him.
So from what I heard and from what Steve told me, we got enough on Mr. Warren to keep him in line from now on.
Yes, but what's going to happen to Steve?
Steve always could take care of himself. He kind of fixed things up for you and Johnny, too.
Yeah. I'm sure gonna miss him. I reckon he won't ever be coming back this way again.
this is Mark Stevens saying goodbye for the Playhouse. We sincerely hope that you enjoyed our Western and that you'll join us again.